Antenna check. Are we Gucci? I think we're good. I never wear my hair up when I film sit down videos, and I know why, because I look like a literal egg right now. It's a bit much. And then I always end up with little antenna hairs poking out halfway through the video. It's really distracting. Anyway, hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Ella. I'm 25. I live in Adelaide and I do a lot of lifestyle content, lots of vlogs, as well as some money and personal finance videos. So if you guys are into that, definitely consider subscribing and follow me over on my Instagram as well if you're not already. It's a great time. I love connecting with you guys over there. And yeah, today I thought I'd sit down and finally film a Q&A video. I've been meaning to do one of these for ages now. I used to do them all the time on my channel. I don't know why I stopped, like not for any particular reason. I think time just escaped me, but there have been a lot of little life changes, lots to update you guys on, and a lot of new faces on my channel. So I thought what better way to spend a raining cold afternoon than sitting down and chatting with you guys. I feel like when I do Q&As, it's like catching up with an old friend. So I asked you guys for questions over on my Instagram. My Instagram handle is just smileycitrus if you guys want to follow me over on there. I do like little, I do little Q&As on my Instagram story from time to time just to catch up with you guys there, but I think actually sitting down and answering questions and having, it's not really a conversation because pretty one-sided, but there's only so much I can write on an Instagram story, so it's nice doing this from time to time. And it's been far too long, so I'm gonna get into it. Lots of wedding related questions, so I'm gonna fire through some of these. Tammy asked your favorite moment at your wedding. So if you guys don't know, I'm a newlywed. How long are you a newlywed for? I don't know. It's been like a month and a half, so we're pretty fresh into the husband and wife life. My favorite memory from the wedding, it's so hard. Honestly, the whole day was absolutely perfect. To just choose one, it's pretty hard. That's gonna be difficult. I'm gonna choose three. Getting ready, just that whole morning with my bridesmaids was so much fun. There was a couple moments while we were getting ready that were just like so funny. When we had on all of our matching pajamas and we were doing the champagne pop with our photographer and videographer. Oh my god. It just popped out of nowhere. Like, I don't like champagne pops. They scare me. So I was already a little apprehensive going into it, but I like barely touched the cork and it just popped right off. It went straight towards the photographer and videographer with their like $10,000 cameras, and I was like, no. There was also a window right behind them. There was a TV right here. I don't know how anyone escaped unscathed, but it was so funny. It just like caught us all by surprise. Another memory that really springs to mind is after our ceremony, but before our reception, we had like 15-20 minutes after we were done with our photographers and while our guests were being seated that we like weren't really expecting to have. We didn't really know where to go, like what to do. We were like, oh. So we ended up walking back to the hotel, which was really close to reception, and just sitting in the lobby for like 20 minutes. And it was so nice just to have that time together alone. We got to like catch up. We hadn't seen each other in like a whole day. We had so much to fill each other in on. And then another one of my absolute favorite memories is at the reception. It was just after our first dance. We invited everyone to join us on the dance floor, and I don't even know how it happened, but it happened so naturally and so organically. Like this circle of all our guests formed around us just like so gradually, and the DJ was playing Angels by Robbie Williams. Best memory. It was just so special. Sweet protection, a lot of love and affection, whether I'm right or wrong. Naomi asked, were there any little mishaps during the wedding day? Love your content, gal. Thank you so much. No, there weren't. Nothing went wrong, which is so crazy. I was honestly prepared for the worst. A lot of people had told me like, prepare yourself. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to a wedding. Like there's bound to be something that's going to go wrong. Nothing went wrong. I'm still in disbelief, honestly. It was truly the most perfect day. I think a lot of it came down to the vendors that we chose. They were all so amazing and so easy to work with. Also just, I guess, like the type of wedding that we had a smaller guest list, which meant less chance of things going wrong. And we're both just like pretty naturally chill, go with the flow kind of people. Like nothing would have really mattered if it had gone wrong, as long as we're both there. We get married, do the kissy kissy la la part, and then celebrate with our friends and family. That's all that we really cared about. So next question is, what is your biggest tip for someone who is about to plan a wedding? Firstly, congratulations, how exciting. I love weddings. I love wedding planning. I just love organizing things. So I'm so excited for you. I'm very jealous. I wish I had another wedding to plan. I guess that's why people get divorced. There's a lot of like small tips that I could give, and maybe I'll do a whole video on this if anyone wants to see it, like the do's and don'ts, or like things that I maybe regretted, or I don't know, there's not really much I regret from our wedding, if anything. I would have to brainstorm. But things that I'm really glad that we did, I could definitely do a whole video on that. But my biggest overall tip when it comes to wedding planning is to do what you want to do, which sounds really simple, but if you've been engaged and you've ever planned a wedding, I'm sure you know and understand how it is. For some reason, people hear the word wedding and they go crazy. There's people coming out of the woodworks that you didn't even know existed in your life. Bob and Sally from down the road, suddenly they think they can tell you how to plan your wedding and what your wedding day should look like. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Maybe because I would never dream of doing that to someone else, but it's weird. It's really easy to get caught up in all of that. Also just like social expectations, social media can make you feel a certain way. Just do what you want. Try and block out all of that noise and really focus on like what you and your partner want out of your wedding day. And I can guarantee you'll have no regrets. Someone asked, do you and Nick ever fight/bicker, and how do you resolve conflict? Yes, Nick and I definitely do bicker from time to time. I wouldn't say we fight and have like full-on fights. We definitely have disagreements. I'm not the type of person to just like brush things under the rug. Like I'm a very, I wouldn't say confrontational, but if I have a problem, like I'm not afraid to say it. And that's just how I am, and that's how I've always been. Naturally in a relationship, you're gonna have conflict and things that you disagree on, or I think it's more so, I find like a lack of communication or just miscommunication. I think the best thing you can do, or this is what works for us at least, is to take a step back, both take as long as you need to just like calm down, get a bit of perspective, and then just like come back and talk it out. 9 times out of 10 it's just like miscommunication. He meant one thing, I meant another thing, and like when we both just kind of explain it to each other, it's not an issue. It's just miscommunication. Obviously if things just like repeatedly keep happening, that's another story, but yeah, like nothing's that deep. Obviously it's important to have boundaries and stand up for yourself, and if something doesn't sit right with you, like just being open and honest about that. I think just open communication can avoid a lot of conflict and a lot of miscommunication. At the end of the day, I know Nick is on my team. We're not out to get each other. We're not out to hurt each other intentionally. So I think remembering that really helps me overcome that conflict, because I'm the kind of person that really holds a grudge. Once someone wrongs me or anyone I love, see you later. Sorry, you're done. You're done. This isn't like talking about Nick and our relationship, but just generally, and this is something I'm really trying to work on, is just like getting over things, because I really hold it in and it's not healthy. I just feel like if someone does something to a certain extent that is hurtful or is mean or is done with malice, or they do something that I don't agree with, I find it really hard to like let that go and not hold on to that. It's not that I would be mean to anyone, but I would have thoughts. You know what I mean? I don't know if this makes any sense. I would be civil, but I struggle to trust again. I think it all comes down to trust. Yeah, that's something I'm trying to work on, is like letting go of certain things and just like having more grace and understanding that like not everyone's perfect, and sometimes people are gonna do things that like I don't agree with, and maybe they're dealing with their own problems or just had like a brain, I don't know. You can see it's something I'm still trying to work on, but yeah, it takes me a long time to get over things. Anyway, that's what really helps in our relationship. We do definitely bicker and have disagreements, but I wouldn't say we have full-on fights. We're not really like angry people. It takes a lot for me to get angry. Believe it or not, I know I just expressed a lot of frustration just then, but I'm normally quite a chill person. And that's why I think it takes me, not me having a literal therapy session right here, I think that's why it takes me so long to get over things and why I hold grudges, is because it takes a lot for me to be upset or to be frustrated and angry. So when I get to that point, it's like almost too late. There's no going back. Wow, realizations, guys. 2022, the year of realizing things. Next question is from Yasmin, and she asks, what made you want to do budgeting videos? I'm scared to have people know my finances. That's completely understandable, and I think it's natural to feel that way. I just don't really care enough. The reason why I talk about our finances so openly and just so publicly is to help people. Yeah, I don't think my monthly resets are particularly groundbreaking by any means, but I hope in doing them, as scary as it sometimes can be to just like openly talk about your personal finances and just like open yourself up to judgment and people thinking they can tell you what to do with your money. As scary as that can be, it's so rewarding to get messages and comments from so many people saying that these videos have helped them, they've started budgeting or just like looking at finances in a different kind of way. If I can just help one person, then my job there is done. Next question is from Ashley, and she asked, when is your house supposed to be finished and what are you most looking forward to with it? I'm most looking forward to having a house. Having a house that is ours, that we can call our own and like do whatever we want with it. Because we've always rented, we haven't been able to get a dog, so we're very excited to get a dog. And in terms of a finish date, it's a little bit up in the air at the moment. The original timeline, it was meant to be done like September, October time, which was never gonna happen. There have been things going on, things are starting to progress, but I'm thinking, just like looking at it, not that I'm any kind of expert, but I'm thinking and hoping before the end of the year, but we'll see. Someone asked, are you worried about inflation and rising interest rates because you have a mortgage? Yes and no. I think it would be foolish not to be like a little bit concerned or like keeping an eye on things. In saying that, we were approved for a lot more than we borrowed, so we didn't max out on anything. Going into financing our home loan, we knew that across 30 years the interest rates aren't going to stay the same and they are going to fluctuate, so we wanted to borrow a lot less than we could afford, essentially. So when it did come to rising interest rates, we weren't like scraping the bottom of the barrel to get by. So yeah, luckily we're in a very fortunate position that we're not really too concerned. But yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess. Updates to come, you guys will see. When I do my budget videos, if I suddenly get really nervous about our mortgage, you know why. Next question is from Carly, and she asked, what are Nick and your plans for the future? Traveling, do you guys have a 5-year plan? A lot of 5-year plan questions, which is like, this is actually probably the first time ever in my life where I haven't had like a 3 to 5 year plan. I'm honestly just like so content with where I'm at in life right now, just like really enjoying this period of our lives. In the next 5 years, look, we definitely want to start having a family. I would say in the next 5 years, we'll be in our house, we want to get a dog. In terms of traveling, we would like to do like one more big trip, like a big Europe trip or a big Canada, America trip before we start popping out kids. So that's the plan, but who knows? Sometimes the universe has other ideas. Oh my god, so many questions about having kids. Haley asked, how long do you think it'll be before you start trying to have a child? That is a great question. Yeah, probably when we're done being alone. It's so funny. I touched on this in my weekly vlog when I was talking with Kirsty, but how people at different stages will ask you certain questions. Like when I was single, it was like, when are you gonna get a boyfriend? When I had a boyfriend, it was like, when are you guys getting engaged? When you're finally married, when are you having a baby? When you have your first baby, when are you having your second one? Like, it's just never ending. When does it ever stop? I don't know. But I don't mind answering questions about this just because it's like not really on our radar. We're both so excited to have a family. Like I actually cannot wait for like that next stage of our lives, but it will be a next stage and I know how much of a adjustment it will be. I don't think it's all bad. Like there's so many beautiful things that come with being a parent. I'm sure I wouldn't even know because I'm not one, but I can only imagine like how rewarding and how special that is. In saying that, once you're a parent, like you're a parent for life. And I just think there's maybe a few things that we want to do, or just like time that we want to experience together as a couple, not even necessarily like things and goals. We're not sticking to like a timeline or a checklist of like things that we want to accomplish and do before we start having kids. It's more so just like time and just enjoying the time that we have together before we start having babies. So I don't know, honestly at this point it could be tomorrow, it could be 5 years from now. Your guess is as good as mine. Probably not tomorrow. There's a lot of back and forth. We really go back and forth. Some days I'm like so clucky, I just like can't wait to have a baby. And then there are other days where I'm like, never mind, see you in 10 years. Claire asked, how many kids do you and Nick want? Again, this is really hard to answer because I've never had a child. I've always said 4, and that just seems like kind of a lot. So maybe not. We'll see. We'll try 1 and then we'll see how we go from there. Next question is, what actually happened at your last job? I hope you've healed. Thank you so much. This is so sweet. I don't know if I have healed, to be quite honest. It's something I'm still like working through internally. What went down at my last job was like traumatic, to be honest. Like, it was horrible. I've never been in a situation where I felt so, I don't even know. It's eventually something that I do want to discuss and like touch on, because I think there are a lot of lessons that can be learned from the experience that I went through. And yeah, just like sharing my experiences from being in a toxic work environment and like what led me to actually like pull the plug and finally leave and say enough is enough. I just don't know if I'm quite there yet. Also, I don't want to be distasteful about it. Like, I want to keep a sense of like professionalism on my channel. It is something that I eventually want to touch on, but I don't really know how to go about it or like what I can say. I'll consult my boyfriend, my husband. I'll consult my husband. He's a lawyer. He'll know. Yeah, all I'll say is my character and what I did outside of work was questioned. And that's not a nice feeling, and I didn't want to continue working in an environment where I couldn't finish work and do what I love and vlog my life without feeling like some horrible person is like watching me and waiting for me to like slip up. Like, hun, I've been in the job for 1.5 years. If I haven't slipped up in 1.5 years, I'm probably not going to. So there's just like some really unhappy people in the world, and honestly I just feel sorry for them. I think if you're so set on trying to bring someone else down in whatever way you can, like trying multiple different avenues, you should probably take a look in the mirror and see, you know, what's going on in here internally. That's all I'll say on that. I think I've said enough, probably too much. Okay, I'm gonna end off with one last question. This has probably been the biggest question I've gotten in the last few months. This one's from Renee, and she asked, how come you haven't spoken with Anya for 6 months? No pressure to answer, as it is her story. Thank you so much for wording this in such a respectful way. This is a question that I have gotten so much, and I completely understand. Like, I get it. I would be asking the exact same questions like someone else I watched online. There's not really anything to say though. And it is one of those things that is like such a delicate topic and such a delicate situation in both of our lives. In saying that, her eating disorder is something that she has chosen to discuss openly on my channel. We filmed a whole mukbang Q&A answering questions about her eating disorder and like her recovery. Yeah, we've talked about it multiple times on my channel, and it's something I've been very open about and she really wanted to be open about. Unfortunately, it's just kind of gotten to a point where she is not doing so well, which as a family is like, I can't even imagine how she's feeling. I can only speak from my perspective, but watching someone that you love so much, like my little sister, go through that and watching her regress again is really, really difficult. And another thing about eating disorders is not just about eating. Like, there's so much behavior that comes with it. She wasn't at my wedding, as you guys know. I haven't seen her since Christmas, really. I saw her once and like, I don't think I could see her again. Just like watching someone you love and someone you care about, like your little sister, like that. It sounds so bad because you want to be there, but sitting by and watching someone you love die in front of your eyes, like, it's just so messed up. It's not normal. Like, it's just not normal. And it's awful, and I just want my sister back. I just want my sister to be... I don't even care if she hates me or wants nothing to do with me. I just want her to be well, is what it really comes down to. I just want her to be well and to get help. And yeah, that's that. So that is why I haven't talked about anything or have kind of avoided answering that question, because like there's no updates to give. I haven't seen her for 6 months. So yeah. Wow, what a way to end a Q&A video. Whew. This was literally like therapy, so thank you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna end this here. I'm gonna go cry. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you very, very soon for another video. Bye guys.